Somebody revealed a source that says he had quite an experience demanding his makeup artist show up or get fired. I'll share that story for you.
You know something, he's not so funny in real one. No, he's not so funny. He's very serious.
Blake Lively, her brand, Ryan Reynolds' brand, have totally been tarnished by this because the world now sees them for who they are. They cannot act their way out of this.
They weren't the first to do this. It was Blake Lively, it was Ryan Reynolds, this was their strategy. And now they kind of want to put the genie back in the bottle. But guess what? The genie does not want to go back in the bottle.
It's somehow, I have no idea how we've managed to keep it secret, given the internet and all this stuff, because somehow it hasn't come out. I would say that they're more surprises because they have beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not like, it's not just like a, hey.
He was involved in this to some extent. There was a meeting at their apartment at which you allege that there were some senior production people who witnessed him allegedly berate Justin Baldoni to the point where these third parties felt upset that they didn't do more to stand up for Justin, that they thought Ryan Reynolds was so abusive.
Deadpool's done. Like, we will never let our husbands go see this movie, any of this. Ryan Reynolds is done. Like, there is something very disturbing about this man and the way that he plotted to just like infest every layer of Justin Baldoni's life just to show him who had power and who had money.
I really am grateful to have worked with Mike Judge, and those guys I do think are the best in the game.
Now, all agree that the moral crimes committed here by Ryan Reynolds against Justin Baldoni have amounted to high treason.
No, he hates
We
you.
had a really weird moment on Deadpool where he said, let's do one more take. And everyone was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me.
Totally correct about Ryan Reynolds. What is that, like a personality test? Is it called like an Enneagram personality type 1 through 9? Well, Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho.
My face being so flush with blood and heat, thinking about this impending disaster that was about to happen, and also really kind of rooting and sitting in that rebellion of the moment, too.
Strangers describe me as
Extremely disloyal.
Just have the courage to pick up the phone and apologize. Like, we don't even need to be aware of it. Pick up the phone and apologize to Justin Baldoni. I mean, I don't even want you canceled. You're just a typical Hollywood slug follower, could never be a leader. All of you just trying to climb to the top, whatever. It means nothing to the rest of the world. Nobody cares what Hollywood thinks. But try to have a little bit of decency and dignity and right the wrong now. Because it is never worth it to sit with the cool kids if the cool kids are just going around kicking puppies on a Friday night.
There is no question that, yes, Ryan Reynolds based his Deadpool Wolverine character, Nice Pool, with the man bun on Justin Baldoni.
Any words for Ryan, seeing as the next time we talk to him, he will be seeing that.
I have nothing to say to him.
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. Ryan Reynolds has long been the poster boy for Hollywood's friendly neighborhood wisecracker. He's the guy who turns red carpets into stand-up comedy shows, posts hilarious Twitter comebacks, and generally seems like the human embodiment of a warm chuckle. But behind the curtain of late-night TV anecdotes and viral social media posts, rumors have spread that Mr. Congeniality might not be so congenial when the cameras stop rolling.
You know something, he's not so funny in real one. No, he's not so funny. He's very serious.
And Ryan Reynolds, by all accounts, seems like a great guy. He is acting. By all accounts, he is a total pain in the... He's one of those guys. So they are absolute bullies.
If you're already clutching your signed Deadpool poster in disbelief, buckle up. This journey is about to get bumpy. There's talk of backstage blow-ups, a meltdown involving a makeup artist, and more co-star feuds than the average reality TV series.
Somebody revealed a source that says he had quite an experience demanding his makeup artist show up or get fired. I'll share that story for you.
Ryan Reynolds on the Enneagram is a psycho. That's what he is. He's just a psycho. His number is psycho.
For years, these whispers have flickered beneath the surface, only to be met with Reynolds' winning grin. But now, the stories are getting louder, more detailed, and far harder to ignore. Some folks in Tinseltown are claiming that the real Ryan Reynolds is less heart of gold charmer and more, well, something else entirely.
And Baldoni, there's Leslie Sloan, who's another PR agent who will be part of this lawsuit. That was Blake Lively's. Blake Lively will be sued, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also, and some of them will come as a surprise. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, wow.
So set aside your Ryan is the best coffee mug for a moment, because we're about to dive into the backlot drama, questionable decisions, and did he really say that? Moments that have people scratching their heads. Is he the comedic saint that fans adore, or is he that sick control freak that is coming to light over the Justin Baldoni case with Blake Lively? And is there an entirely different script playing out behind the scenes? Let's find out. Grab your popcorn, because nothing kicks off the behind-the-scenes soap opera quite like someone yelling at the folks who hold the makeup brushes. According to a Fox News piece, yes, you heard that right, Fox News took a break from politics to focus on who used to be our beloved Deadpool star. Reynolds allegedly let loose on a makeup artist who couldn't rearrange her schedule at his beck and call. Rumor has it, the meltdown involved a threat that if she didn't come back to the set pronto, she'd never work in Hollywood again. Bold words, like who put him in charge to say who will and who won't ever work in Hollywood ever again.
Ryan Reynolds had to do some reshoots for the movie. His makeup artist was out of the country working. Ryan Reynolds threatened to fire the makeup artist off the rest of the film and the reshoots they had to do, and also said, if you don't come back and do my makeup for these reshoots, you will never work in Hollywood again.
Now, if you're thinking, really? The guy who live tweets how much he loves his wife's homemade cookies lost his cool over foundation and eyeliner? You're not alone. The industry grapevine says this tantrum wasn't just about cosmetics. It was a power move, a glimpse into a bigger picture of a star who expects near immediate compliance.
No one knew who he was beforehand. Everyone knows who he is now. If he is a smart sociopath, he'll work that to his advantage.
An insider from Deadpool 2 spilled that once Reynolds gained influence on set, he took charge of pretty much everything, from costume changes to final editing decisions. Imagine the chef deciding he's also the dishwasher, the maître d', and the restaurant owner. Efficiency or tyranny? The debate rages on. What did Fox News do with this story? They featured it on a podcast called Kennedy Saves the World, where the insider described a Ryan Reynolds who apparently wields his Hollywood clout like a scepter, making my way or the highway the unofficial rule.
That's so gross and weird and manipulative, even if it's true. It's so just... This movie somehow was a magnet for awful people.
True or not, the revelations were enough to make fans squint, rummaging through old interviews for possible hints of a hidden diva streak. Maybe the next time you see Reynolds in an interview, you'll wonder if that wide grin is covering up some scorching behind-the-scenes tension. If you thought Deadpool was chaotic, wait until you hear about the drama swirling around the sequel. Tim Miller, who directed the first film, exited Deadpool too faster than you can say chimichanga. The official story was creative differences, which is Hollywood speak for we had a spat. But rumors flew that Reynolds wanted total creative control. And by total, we're talking about an iron grip on casting, script rewrites, and possibly the design of the craft services table. Okay, maybe not that last one, but you get the idea. Now, some would argue that an actor fighting for his vision is admirable. Who doesn't love an underdog turned powerhouse? Yet as the anecdotal evidence piled up, critics started wondering, was it passion or pure bossiness? Did Reynolds cross the line from being a protective steward of his character to someone whose motto is, "It's my movie, you're just here to fill the background"? This question gained traction when talk arose of actress Marina Baccarin being sidelined in the second movie. She went from central love interest to cameo-level status.
You know, fans want to know. Anything, any scoop?
Yeah, what is up with Deadpool 3? That's a really good question. I have to be very diplomatic about what I say here. I'd like to be in it. They have called me about being in it. Right now, we have not agreed on terms. And everybody's trying their best and doing their best, but it may or may not work out. I don't know.
Then TJ Miller popped up in interviews, insisting Reynolds put him in his place by belittling him as a minor character. Hardly the buddy-buddy atmosphere fans had come to expect.
On Deadpool, where he said, let's do one more take. And everyone was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And then as the character, he was like horrifically mean to me, but to me. So he was like, you know what's great about you, Weasel? You're not the star, but you just, you do just enough exposition that it's funny, and then we can leave and get back to the... And then I think I don't know. I mean, would I work with him again? No.
No,
I would not work with him
that
again.
much vitriol.
Why is Ryan doing this? And the other weird thing is, like, maybe he got I think he's kind of an insecure dude.
The thing about myself I've learned to love is...
The thing about myself that I've learned to love is insecurity. That's a real answer. Yeah, insecurity. Yeah.
All of these tidbits woven together give the impression of a man determined to run the show, no matter whose toes get stomped along the way. Still, if you bring it up on Twitter, you might face an army of fans calling you a liar and Reynolds a misunderstood saint. Maybe the best solution is a custom line of t-shirts saying, "I survived Deadpool's off-camera outtakes, and all I got was this lousy meltdown." Speaking of Deadpool, let's momentarily teleport to the sci-fi thriller Life, where Reynolds starred alongside Rebecca Ferguson and Jake Gyllenhaal. According to Ferguson, working with an angry, insecure coworker soured the experience so badly that she chose to film certain scenes with a tennis ball on a stick, rather than face this individual in person.
I did a film with an absolute idiot of a co-star, and this human being was being so insecure and angry because this person couldn't get the scenes out. And I think I was so vulnerable and uncomfortable. But the next day I walked on and I said, "You get off my set." This is the first time I've ever spoken. I remember being so scared. Yeah. I looked at this person and I said, "You can F off. I'm going to work towards a tennis ball. I never want to see you again."
She never explicitly said, "It was Ryan Reynolds, Your Honor," but the timeline and context made fans raise an eyebrow in his direction. Allegedly, Ferguson also got subtle warnings about pushing her grievances too far. Because of course, that's Hollywood's signature tactic. Be quiet and smile, or risk your future in showbiz.
I think I was so vulnerable and uncomfortable that I got screamed at. But because this person was number one on a call sheet, there was no safety net for me. So no one had my back.
Meanwhile, Jake Gyllenhaal went from being Reynolds' ultimate BFF in interviews. Seriously, the pair once acted like the comedic equivalent of Thelma and Louise, to turning oddly silent whenever Reynolds' name cropped up.
Keywords for Ryan, seeing as the next time we talk to him, he will be seeing that.
I have nothing to say to him.
The shift was about as subtle as a clown at a funeral. From gushing over one another to stone-cold hush might signify a serious falling out.
You have an ongoing feud with Ryan. You know that guy. What's it gonna take for him to actually be BFFs with you?
Well, I mean, in truth, there was a time in which we were.
Did Gyllenhaal finally get fed up with Reynolds' rumored controlling streak, or was it a misunderstanding over which one of them had the better abs? We may never know. Still, it's a pretty big leap for Bromance of the Year to become Don't Ask Me About That Guy. Something had to tip that scale, right? Fans can only speculate. Perhaps Gyllenhaal just decided they had too many cringeworthy interviews to ever top. But for everyone on the outside, it's another piece in the puzzle of a star who might be driving away close friends. Now, no Ryan Reynolds discussion would be complete without mentioning Blake Lively, half of what social media hails as the funniest marriage since comedic duos roam the earth. Their Instagram and Twitter banter is legendary. They roast each other's photos, poke fun at birthdays, and do it all in a way that seems hash relationship goals to the rest of us. But as tabloids would have you believe, this might be just a meticulously planned marketing spin. With every questionable story about Reynolds that crops up, the power couple answers with a wave of adorable posts. It's like they keep a stash of romantic selfies in a hidden folder labeled "break in case of emergency." Blake does have her own legal entanglements, though let's not drag that into a comedic roast. And each time a negative headline looms for her or her husband, the pair floods social media with comedic gold. For the public, that's prime entertainment. But for cynics, it's a well-oiled distraction tactic. You might say they're the wizards of social media illusions, pulling us away from potential fires by juggling witty one-liners and flirty jokes. Still, millions of fans eat it up. Who doesn't like seeing a married duo cheerfully troll each other online? But the question remains, if all these nasty allegations about Reynolds ring true, how do they reconcile that with the sunshine and rainbows on their timelines? Could it be that they genuinely have an awesome, playful relationship and Reynolds just happens to have a controlling side on set? Or is the perfect marriage brand essentially a Tinseltown house of cards waiting for a stiff breeze? The jury's out, but for many watchers, the comedic tweets and well-timed pictures feel a little too convenient. Competing allegations, ex-partners' cryptic comments, and big-name directors rejecting your calls. What's next? A cameo by the ghost of Hollywood past, scolding Reynolds for his hubris? In an industry that thrives on reinvention, Reynolds once soared from rom-com sidekick to superhero phenomenon. But the swirl of negative press has grown harder to tune out. Even the biggest fans have at least heard about the meltdown rumors or the ex's jabs by now. One might argue that a star so adored could weather almost any storm. Look at how many times celebrities have bounced back from fiascos that would have ended a mere mortal's career. But there's a tipping point, especially when controversies start stacking like a precarious Jenga tower. The pattern forming around Reynolds is less about one scandal and more about a swirl of them. He's controlling. He's dismissive. He undermines co-stars. If these claims were currency, we'd have enough to buy a new Marvel franchise. And that's not the best press for someone who needs a squeaky clean image to keep fans and studios in his corner. Could Reynolds pull a PR rabbit out of his hat and stage a triumphant comeback? Absolutely. He's got charm, timing, and an army of fans who defend him to the ends of the internet. But the bigger question, does he even want to address these grievances publicly, or will he let them fade away, overshadowed by another witty tweet or blockbuster announcement? Hollywood is fickle, and if the powers that be decide they'd rather not gamble on his rumored arrogance, the comedic quips might not be enough to save him. It's hard to drop those mic-worthy one-liners if nobody's handing you a microphone in the first place. In the grand tale of Ryan Reynolds, we have something resembling a Shakespearean drama with a modern twist. There's the beloved hero, the adoring public, the comedic sidekicks, and the whispered betrayals that threaten to unravel the entire narrative. The question is, are these controversies just minor plot detours, or are they big enough to rewrite the script for good? Some insiders predict that Reynolds' downfall is all but certain, like a precarious tower of Jenga blocks ready to tumble. Others chalk it up to envy. The guy has it all, so naturally, people start aiming darts at the bullseye. What's undeniable is that more voices than ever, from ex-coworkers to ex-partners, are painting Reynolds as a complex character who might not always be the lovable goofball we see on screen. And if that image cracks, how long before box office numbers, brand deals, and even that comedic marriage brand feel the ripple effects? But Hollywood is a place where fortunes change faster than you can say action. Will he find a way to mend fences, address the claims, and keep riding high? Or are we on the verge of watching a career meltdown that PR stunts can't fix? Only time, and possibly another Ryan Reynolds tweet, will tell. In the meantime, we're left to ponder the moral of this Hollywood saga. Even the most radiant star might cast a dark shadow behind the scenes. Perhaps the real revelation here is that no celebrity, no matter how witty or smiley, is immune to falling out of grace once the rumor mill spins into high gear. Will Reynolds manage to rewrite the narrative again, or is this script penned in permanent ink? The show goes on, folks, and we'll all be here, front row seats, to watch what happens next. Sound off in the comments below. No tennis ball stand-ins needed. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more Hollywood inside scoops and star-powered stories. It's your backstage pass to all things blockbuster drama, so buckle up. Thanks for sticking around. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed. Only on Tea Time with Tina.